Hey traders, it's Greg from Trade90X. Excuse me, this morning. Hope everyone's had a productive week, and I'll be back Monday from my Asian trip. So this will be the last weekend from there, but time difference has definitely been interesting. Um, as I do this video, it's nighttime here and daytime in the East Coast where I reside. So again, I hope everyone had a productive week. Let's jump in and let's break down this weekend review. Remember, guys, it's always the same thing. I've been saying this for the last year and a half, 2 years. If you've been watching me, again, we don't pull any punches here at Trade90X. I give you the goods. I give you the data. I give you our numbers. I give you our strategy. I show you every day how we break it down and how we prepare, and I show you how we look at the setups. I show you the symbols. Again, it's the same thing every day. It's rinse and repeat. It's about understanding the rules of engagement. What information do I need to know? What type of trader am I? All these things we handle, and we educate you when you're part of the Trade90X community. Who has the control? Remember, markets can only go up, down, or sideways. Okay. And again, we want to trade when conditions are optimal. We either have high probability A setups or we do not trade. So the first thing I need to do is use my routines. We have our pre-market, which is from 7 to 8 Eastern. This is where we build our plan. We trade typically between 8 and 12, live market execution. And then when we're done trading, post-market journal and review. Nothing, it's rinse and repeat. On the weekends, we review how we did during the week, and then we prepare to see what's moving forward. We look at the data, we look at the numbers, we look at the charts. It's rinse and repeat. Again, if you don't understand this, then don't be shy. Ask questions at hello@trade90x.com. And while it's available, go to our Trade90X Instagram page, go to the page profile, and you can book a 15-minute free call and ask us anything about trading. Nothing has changed. So again, let's break it down. So first thing we're always going to do is I'm going to go check out the news. On the weekends, I'll use Forex Factory. During the week, Econo Day, either one, doesn't matter. And again, what I'm just trying to understand is when is there important news? Because when there's important news and earnings, those are the things that could be personality changes, and we don't trade into them. We let those news or earnings come out, and then we hopefully the price will move quickly to one of our A setups. We don't do anything. If price does this, we're prepared to do that. And if we do not have optimal A setups and we don't understand if the market's bullish, bearish, or range, then we have no business trading. All right, so first off, the news. So Monday, nothing really that important. We have Consumer Confidence Tuesday. You've got an FOM speaker, but it's not Powell. And then Thursday, you got GDP unemployment claims, and then core PC. So those are important. So we do have some important news Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And again, just pay attention. Now, remember, every day, now I'll be back next week. I will be doing those morning reviews on a regular basis. We break it down every morning for you. Earnings. This week, I don't care if you trade stocks or not, always understand, are there any stocks that are going to have personality changes? I think the one that pops out for everybody is right here. NVIDIA, Apple. I mean, these are stocks, there's 10 or so stocks that control the market. And again, people are going to want to see, and then you have CrowdStrike, you got Salesforce, you got very important stuff coming out here on after the close on Wednesday. And those are the ones for me that really, stand out this week. So just pay attention. And again, we go through it every day. But again, this is rinse and repeat stuff. Again, guys, I don't pull the punches. Again, every day we look at the data, we look at the charts, we're looking at the information that matters. We look at the symbols that make up the market context. So all I care about every day is the market bullish, bearish, or range? What is the main trend versus the short-term trend? As I always talk about, if the main trend is bullish, okay, now how do we usually find that? I typically look at the indices. I look at the VIX. Those are the things that really I look at. If the indices, main trend is your monthly and weekly chart. If the main trend is bullish, I'm always looking at, in the shorter term, anywhere from a 5-minute to a daily, how do I get on board with that main trend? Okay, if the main trend is bearish, then I'm looking at the short-term charts. How do I look for a pullback to get short? If the market is in a range, and a range is part of your strategy, then in ranges, I look to fade the edges. I never trade the middle of a range. And the main trend is in a range, then I don't mind in the shorter term trading both sides. Okay, but everything we do, again, has been back tested to prove that we have an edge. And if you have not proven that you have an edge and you don't understand what an A setups in optimal conditions, then you have no business trading. Now, numbers, again, I give them to you every day. For us, I can only speak for us at Trade90X. We don't risk more than 0.5 to 2%. Per trade, I prefer 1%. We do not risk more than 3 to 5% of our capital in our account in a day. I prefer 3%. On a weekly basis, I prefer 15%. And on a monthly basis, no more than 50%. And why is because if you don't know your numbers in business, I don't care what business you're in, you're going to fail. It's not a matter if, it's when. So if you want to be successful, step number one, know your numbers, okay? And understand, okay, that this is a long-term game and that capital preservation. So if you're risking, you know, if you're risking amount, remember, any trader can lose 5 to 10 trades. Okay, so if you're risking 5, 10, 15, 20%, as I always talk about, just do the math. Say you lose 5 trades in a row. Well, at 5%, you're down 25%, 10%, you're down 50%, and so on and so on. So it's not, if you don't have the right, you don't understand the risk money management, then you're going to fail. It's just that simple. This is why I am so a stickler about the same thing every day. I repeat, rinse and repeat every day. All right, so now we know the news and earnings. Secondly, I go to fear and greed. I want to know what the short-term sentiment is. Right now it's neutral. That means that it could still go either way. Now, one thing you remember, we're still in the latter part of the summer and going into August, September, and this is also usually August, September to early October is usually when you look at seasonality, okay? Look at seasonality, and I'll show you that in a second. If you go to seasonality, you'll know that over the last 10, 15, 20 years, that this has been a time where we've had some weakness before potentially going into a positive result into the last kind of month or two. All right. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to be like that every single time, but I like to look at things with probability basis, okay? Because that's all we have is probability, right? Nothing in life is guaranteed. But again, if we have an edge, we know over time, like a casino, that we can be confident that we have a strategy that we understand and we've proven that it'll have success. That's all we can do. But if you're not going to even do that, then you might as well just, you know what? You might as well just, I'll give you a charity and you might as well just send the money there. And again, here at Trade90X, I want to avoid that. I want to see people succeed. This is why I go through this every day. All right, FinViz. We can see Friday close was bullish. The heat map was bullish. Let's go look at the sectors. I like to look at the sector. Remember, main trend. The main trend is going to be your yearly, half year, 3 months. It's bullish. Short term, monthly, weekly, daily. One day doesn't make a trend. And again, remember, if the main trend is bullish and the short term is bullish, then that's what we're looking for. If we're bearish, the main trend is bearish and the short term, that's high probability. Again, if we have indecision, then what I'm going to be doing is, number one, I'm a swing day or scalp trader. I do whatever the market gives us. But if with indecision between the short term and main trend, I'm going to be day and scalping. I'm not interested in longer term trades like swing trades unless my main trend and short term are in sync like they are now. And we are bullish. Okay, tradingster.com. Remember, this comes out every Friday. I show it to you every day, but it's important because this is what we call the Commitment of Trade Report. And the Commitment of Trade Report basically shows you your smart money. Now, don't be impressed. It's very simple. All it is that institution and banks control 85% of the order flow and any symbol you trade, not retail. So I want to know. And again, I want to check the indices starting with the S&P first, but again, make sure to check any symbol you trade. And what I'm looking for, now this report comes out every Friday at 3:30. And again, this is what I'm looking for. I don't care what someone tells me on CNBC or somebody tells me something on YouTube. You know, if they don't understand this, then they're not somebody you should be listening to. This is telling you right here that the institution and banks still have a bullish bias long term. Now, that doesn't mean in the short term, day, 3, 4 days, ways we can't have pullbacks. All I'm telling you, until I see a personality change, we are bullish. Okay, and that's the fact right here. All right, next. Stockcharts.com, one of my favorite tools, because not only are these the symbols that a lot of these symbols we trade, these are the ones we feel that make up the market context. Again, who has the control, bullish, bearish, or range? And then I can quickly show you the main trend versus short term here with a click of a button. So the main trend right here on the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, FTSE 5000, we've got the NYA, I've got here, I've got Apple, and then also I've got gold, USO commodities, and then I've got my odds enhancers, the most important one being the VIX, volatility and sentiment, 10-year bond, and dollar. Now, again, we're either bullish, bearish, or range. Bullish is lower left to upper right. That means that the indices, Apple, they're all moving lower left to upper right. And the main trend, yeah, we've had a short-term pullback, but the long term is still in track. If it was bearish, would be upper left to lower right, and we are not. Ranges, equal highs, equal lows. Apple here, before it broke out, was in a range right here. Ranges, we break into thirds, bottom, middle, top. I'm not interested in the middle. If the range is something we play, I look for strong rejections at the top third, bottom third to fade until price can move back to bullish or bearish momentum. Apple's now back into bullish momentum. Now look at the VIX. The VIX right now, we had this big spike up, and now we're back below 20. So now the volatility is low. That is more bullish, and we'll keep an eye on that, because if the VIX is coming down, that's more bullish. If it's going up, it's more bearish. So we keep an eye. Now, if we look at something like gold, gold is still moving lower left to upper right. And again, there's still a lot of uncertainty, so I'm not surprised. But right now, the VIX is down, 10 years down, and so is the dollar. So again, guys, this doesn't lie. We go through this every single day. Now let's go look at the short term. Remember what I talked about? If the main trend is bullish, the short term, we look for pullbacks to go long. And look at that. We look for, now, these are things that you'll learn, but it's not difficult. It just takes repetition and discipline. And if you don't put the repetition in, then you're not going to understand it. But when we're looking for trades long, we're looking for lower left to upper right. I look for momentum into pullback or pauses. Okay, bearish, upper left to lower right, momentum into pullback and pauses, ranges, equal highs, equal lows. And I think you'll agree the Dow is bullish, S&P is bullish, NASDAQ is bullish, FTSE 5000. Now we're coming near the top, so we're going to see. Now the NYA is kind of broken out. Apple is in that pause, but right now we definitely have more of a bull bias. Okay, and we got the short-term 10-year dollar moving down, and as well as the VIX. So as long as we have that, then again, we'll follow the price action. We're either bullish, bearish, or range, and you need to master again, what the main trend is for short term, what price action looks like up, down, or sideways. Master the setup, master your risk and money management position sizing, and you'll be ahead of 99% of the traders. And before we have something here at Trade90X, as you guys know, it's called the Earn the Right to Trade Live. And it's exactly what it sounds like. We don't let somebody trade live until they've proven, number one, that they've back tested and simmed their strategy to proven that it has a profitability for several months. Then you can earn the right to trade live, and then we start you off small. I don't care how big your account is, you prove execution. Okay, and we master sticking with the trend. And also when there are certain counter trend opportunities, remember counter trend is going to be much lower probability, but here are the rules with counter trend. It's very simple. Number one, you shouldn't even be thinking about it unless you're somebody that has 3 to 6 months minimum of profitability with the strategy. You've mastered your strategy, what it means. You understand the markets, optimal setups, then using our tools and only, then you've earned the right to potentially counter trend. But I would tell you this, I don't care how good of a trader you are, the more that you stick with the power of the market, the higher the probability of the trade. This is why I go through this every day. Now, some odds enhancers before we go to the charts. I like to look at, again, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow against the dollar VIX. And then also here's, I have the moving averages, the 200, the 50, and the 20. Now remember, if there's no setup in the chart, it doesn't matter. So let me show you how I use this. I like to start with the 50-day moving average. Now this goes back 20 years, so it has some credence. So basically, every time we get down to anywhere between 4 and 25%, high probability of, if we're bearish in the market, there's a high probability we might get a bounce. If price over the last 20 years is up in the 80, 90s, and we get a reversal, high probability if you're in a bullish trade, we might get a bounce. So how I use it is more so, especially for my swing trading, if I'm in a short and we start getting this big reversal, I'll start taking profits, maybe leave a runner, but I can use this to help, for my swing trading. Again, if I'm in a bullish trade and we start getting reversal, then I'm going to start tightening up my stops, take profit. And then the 20-day right here is a little bit faster. So this can help us with a little bit faster trading. Now, the 200 is going to be your long term, but it really has a lot of power when all three of these line up, either in the bottom or top. And then we look at our symbols and especially our indices. And again, I want to see, is the dollar and the VIX moving down, moving up? And then what do we have? So we see the dollar and the VIX moving down. We have the indices moving up. And it looks like we potentially have setups moving in here for Monday because we're going momentum into that nice pause. So again, the Dow is starting to show us something, but we could have something here. If we break higher, we could have setups here on S&P and NASDAQ moving into Sunday and Monday. All right. Next, I like to look at, here are the indices. So you can see the Dow, S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, Russell, and then I've got the VIX, I got the dollar, I've got gold, and I've got the 2-year bonds. And again, these are coming down. Now, gold has been, moving up, but look at the indices. We have the indices now bullish. We've got the odds enhancers moving down. So again, guys, it's not rocket science. It just takes repetition. It's understanding. Listen, you got to get educated. You got to understand the rules of engagement of the market, what information I need to focus, what type of trader I am. Again, who has control, bulls, bears, or range, know what that means, understanding the main trend for short term, and then understanding the mastering the setups in bullish, bearish ranges, if that's what you trade, and that's it. And then looking at the data every day, where is the advantage? And if there is no advantage, then why are you trading? Again, trading doesn't mean you trade every day. Listen, there could be days where you have 10 trades. Some days you might have 5. Some days you may have 1. And then there could be a day or two where there's no trades. Again, I'm not going to trade if I don't have an A setup. All right, one more. Here's your Mag 7. I've got the VTI, the total stock market. We're bullish, and we can see that Apple is bullish. Google is definitely neutral. Amazon is kind of neutral. So is Meta. Nvidia definitely has now a bullish stuff. So Apple, Nvidia, Tesla's kind of neutral, and so is Microsoft. So right now, when the VTI, which is basically your S&P, but it's your total stock market, is bullish, which one of these symbols, these are symbols that I trade. So whether it's day trading or swing trading or position trading, I would be looking at Nvidia and Apple because they've got the nice momentum, lower left to upper right, into that nice strong pause. It's mirroring the VTI, and that's what I'm looking for. These other symbols do not as strong. So why would you trade them? I want to trade the ones that have the most obvious bullish bearish range going along with the total stock market. All right. So now that we've done that, let's go to the charts and let's go break it down. Let me just clean that up. All right. Move that a little bit. All right, so now we look at the chart. So the first thing I always do is your main trend comes from your monthly and weekly. So again, when we look at it, you ask the questions. Are we moving lower left to upper right, upper left to lower right, or are we in a range, equal highs, equal lows? And if you don't know what those look like, then this is why you need to put the repetition is. So now we're moving lower left to upper right. Now what I did was I have a momentum band and a 200-day moving average. I have basic off-the-shelf thing, and the reason I do that is because for especially a lot of traders, whether you're beginner, advanced, sometimes like myself, I'm a visual trader. So what I'm looking for is, are we moving lower left to upper right? And I look for those pullbacks and pauses at the momentum band. And again, if we're above the 200 and the 200 is sloping up, then I know that we have a bullish thing. Now remember, you trade the chart, but you have to understand main trend comes from your monthly and weekly. Shorter term, usually I like to look at a 5-minute to a daily. So right now, the long term is bullish and we're coming into all-time highs. So we'll see if we break out. Now listen, I'm always looking at this. I'm looking at momentum legs. Momentum legs, whether it's bullish or bearish, right here, into pullback or pause. And as long as we're making higher highs, higher lows, we are bullish. So right here, we've had basically 3 momentum legs in this right here. All right. And then we look for the pullbacks. Now, the pullbacks, I like to see the pullbacks that move right back to the band and quickly bounce. Okay. And if we have a sloping band up and we're above a sloping 200, that tells us that that market time frame has strong bullish. All right. And the candles that I look for, I like for bullish ones. I'm looking for pin bars, which is this one right here. I'm looking for engulfing candles, which is up here, the next one. I'm looking for green engulfing candles, or I'm looking for those dojis into those 2 candles. Same thing with bearish. I'm looking for upper left to lower right. I want to see it below the band. And again, remember, you see right here, we were not below the 200. So this told you, unless we broke the 200, this was just a short-term pullback. But again, I'm looking for that clear momentum into pullback or pause at or below. And on the bearish, whether, and again, I don't care if you're on a 1-minute or weekly chart, it doesn't matter. It's the same. The only difference is the trade time, holding the trades have different time holding periods. Okay. So when I look at this, I don't care. It doesn't matter what symbol. This happens to be the S&P. We start with the S&P because it represents 75% of the market, but this could be a penny stock. It could be futures, forex. It doesn't matter. Once you understand all this, how to read this stuff, and again, this is what we do in our Trade90X community. All the stuff we do, again, number one, you learn to understand what the market is, what information to focus on, what type of trader you are that suits your personality, how to read the market, who has control, is it bullish, bearish, or range, understanding main trend versus short term, mastering the setups, your risk and management, money management, along with position sizing, your routines, pre-market, live, post-market, weekly, monthly, yearly, and then understanding your journal and review process in the post market. All right. And again, the people that are willing to do this will become higher probability of being successful, either traders, investors, or both. All right. But you have to read the market. I don't care what type of trading you are. So right now, S&P is bullish. Then I'll go down to the daily chart, down to a 5-minute to a daily. And the same thing, I'll ask the questions. Are we bullish, bearish, or range? Well, we were all bulls here. Momentum band up above the 200. We had a short-term pullback. Now, if we would have done this is why I have the 200 up. If we broke below this right here, the 200, now we're having a different conversation. Now, but we didn't. What we did have is a rejection right at the 200. And this is why I have the weekly, monthly up, because if you look at the weekly and monthly, we had a pushback right to the band. We didn't close below. We came back and just popped right back up. All right. So now this gave us that opportunity. And right now, look at what we have here. We have momentum into pullback and pause. We have an engulfing candle. So if we get a price break above there, definitely could have a trade. The only thing we need to worry about, we are close to all-time highs, but that is definitely, the opportunity is looking like a really nice setup. Now, again, I don't care. You have to understand who has control, bulls, bears, or range. You have to understand main trend versus short term, and then you trade the chart. So again, swing trades, I'm using the monthly, weekly, daily. Sometimes I'll use an hourly or 30-minute as well, and I'll show you how I do that right now. And then for my day trading and scalping, I still look at the weekly, daily, and then I use the 1 hour along with anywhere from whatever you like, a 1 to 5 minutes. So now let's go look at the hourly. Now, We created something called the Trade90X one chart view for you guys because you guys came to and say, hey, listen, I want to be able to look at, one chart. I want to be able to look at 1, 5, 10, or 15 symbols. I want to break it down. Now, when I get to anywhere from the 1 minute to hourly, we have these tools. They're predictive, not lagging. I talk about this every day. They're right off the shelf. There's nothing magical about it. But the beauty is they quickly tell us in the short term, we bullish, bearish range. Now, what I use here is very simple. It's the yearly high low in this gray, the monthly high low in orange. The purple here is the weekly high low, and then the previous day's range are these black ones right here. And I have the previous day's closed dotted line. I have the open right here, and then this happens to be a daily pivot. All right. Now, one of the things that I really like to do is really use those monthly and weeklies. Okay, I used the previous day's range to kind of look at those short term, but I really, for my week to week trading in my day or scalp or even faster swing trades, I like to use the weekly along with the previous day's range. So remember, what's going on with the previous day's range? Are we above, below, or inside? If we're above, that tells us we have short-term bullishness. Below, it's short-term bearishness. Inside, it means we've got neutral bias. But what I really like to do is I like to look, what I do is I make these blue lines for the weekly. And then what I usually do for the monthlies and yearlies, I'll put these red line, I call those decision points right here. So if we break out of the previous day's range, then I'm looking at those weeklies and then the monthly and yearlies as potential targets. Now, for me, what I like to do week to week is I like to remember ranges. I don't care if it's a previous day's range, weekly, monthly, yearly, bottom, middle, top. So what I like to do is for my week to week trading, whether it's day, scalp, or faster swing trades, I like to look at the bottom third of the weekly high low, top third, and then the middle. The middle is definitely my least favorite. The bottom third and top third are going to be my favorite until we break out. And if we break out, then I look at where those monthly, yearly targets are. So this week, if we look at that, here was your bottom third on Monday, beautiful trade. Tuesday, Wednesday, really just chop in the middle. This was a nice, because again, we had a monthly, and remember, when you have multiple levels, okay, and then I used the previous day's range also to help me. This was a top third of the weekly, and we had a previous day's range high. That was a beautiful short. So when I look at the week to week trades, when I'm reviewing them, I'm looking at right here, bottom third, we had a weekly low right here, long on Monday. Tuesday was just chop, Wednesday chop, and then we had strong. What I'm looking for is big moves and rejections, either rejections or continuations at the top third, bottom third of the weeklies. And then if we break out, then I'm looking for those moves up to those monthly and weekly levels. So again, if we would have broken out this week, I would be looking for that continuation trade. If we got below here, then the weekly low, then I would have been looking for potential short down there. Now, remember, main trend on the S&P is up. So in the short term, ideally, I'm looking more for the long trades. Anything that is counter trend is short. Again, I've told you the rules. Number one, you have to be a profitable trader 3 to 6 months. You have to understand the strategy, proven you've had 3 to 6 months of profitability, and you understand in the tools that you have back tested and proven you have an edge. But for me, here were the 3 really nice trades this week. Bottom third for the long, going with the trend. You had a top third rejection because you had a monthly and weekly. And then here, on Friday, you had a nice long right here in the bottom third at the open. So those, when I look at them, were the 3 best trades. Okay, so now the weekly high low is going to be right here. So what am I looking for going into Sunday, Monday? Well, we've got the yearly above there. I've got a monthly, weekly. I've got levels down there. So what I'm going to be looking for going into Sunday, Monday is the following. I'm not interested in the middle. What I'm looking for is strong rejections at the top third, back to the middle or bottom. I'm looking for a strong momentum rejection at the bottom third, back to the middle or top. I'm looking for strong momentum fake out breakout, wait for the break and retest to fade short. I'm looking for strong momentum, fake out breakout to go long until price can prove it can break out and give me this above or below. And these are the trades that I look for every single day, every week, regardless of the symbols. Now, I'm a specialist. I trade the same 6 to say 8 symbols every day, and I go through these every day. The reason on the weekend I take the time, I do a market review and strategy session. I want you guys to get it. Remember, I can only lead the horse to water. If you don't email me, ask questions, send me your charts, then I can help you. But again, I give the same information. We go through it. So I'm showing you everything. Okay. I show you how we're breaking it down. All right. So that was the S&P. Okay, now I trade futures and options. I'll use the ETFs and the futures. Those are my favorites. Trading futures, definitely shorter term, and then day trading or mostly longer term, I'll use options. And again, this will all come down when you're part of the Trade90X. What type of trader am I? What type of time, resources, and personality? But again, guys, anybody can do this. All right, let's go look at NASDAQ. It's rinse and repeat. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the main trend, the monthly and weekly. Ask the questions. Are we moving lower left, upper right, upper left to lower right, or range? Well, we went from upper left to lower right. We had a brief below the 200. We couldn't hold. And then we broke back up. We were in a range. Now we're bullish. And all we're doing is momentum into pullback and pause. Beautiful rejection right here. Beautiful rejection at this level right here. We had the pin bar, and right now we're moving back to the all-time highs, so we're bullish in the main trend. All right, let's go look at the short term. Ask the questions. We're moving lower left, upper right, upper left to lower right. There we go. Well, we're moving lower left, upper right, and we've got this pause now. So I am potentially going to be looking for, if we can get some kind of break and retest above, I'm going to be looking for a move in the NASDAQ back to the highs. Right now, there's not a trade in this time frame, but there's one setting up. Then we can use, I'll use the 5-minute to hourly, and I can find faster setups. Again, this is where I can find my day trade setups, my scalp, or my swing trades. Now, first thing I'm going to do, here was your weekly high, low. And then I'm always looking for, again, where are those monthly and yearlies above and below if we break out? And if those monthly and weeklies are on top of these weeklies, then we know, like right here, this is even a stronger level. And again, I use the previous day's range to kind of help just guide us from day to day. But if you look at this, like the S&P, beautiful bottom third rejection. You had a 2-try bottom third. So Monday was a beautiful, beautiful trade. Tuesday was chop. Wednesday, and then same thing here. It was a counter trade setup right here. Again, you know my thoughts on counter trade. Main trend is up. The higher probability are long. So again, Monday and Friday provided you definitely higher end trades. But again, if you now know my rules for counter trend, and if you qualify for that, I have no problem. And then again, when you journal, if it's a high probability trade, not a problem. But if you're trading it and you haven't qualified for what I said for counter trend, then you have no business trading it. Are we clear? Good. All right. So now these were the trades that you should have been trading this week. Now what are the new trades right now going into Sunday and Monday? Again, guys, I give you the goods. I show you everything. What is the main trend? What is the short term? How to use the tools that are predictive to find the best setups and then set it up in advance. So right now, here's your new high, low for the week. So my favorite trades are going to be the following. Top third rejection. Bottom third. Now remember, longs are going to be more my favorite because the main trend is up. But again, I don't want to trade the middle. I want strong momentum rejections. I want to fake out breakouts at the top third, bottom third. Fake out breakouts. Again, I'm playing the range until price can break out. And then if it breaks out, we're looking for higher highs, higher lows. We're looking for that continuation trade right here, lower highs, lower lows, or momentum into pause or pullback. And that's it. That's all I look for. I'm not interested in chop. I'm not interested in the middle. I want to see movement, either rejection or continuation going to the higher levels. So those were your trades, and those were your new setups we're going to be looking for going into Sunday and Monday. Any questions, hit me up at hello@Trade90X if you're not getting it, because I do this every day. All right, YM. Again, I always do the indices first. And again, if I don't cover a symbol you want, then hit me up at hello@Trade90X. I'll be more than happy to break it down for you and set it up. All right, so the Dow, momentum into pullback or pause. Now it's starting to break out. And we can see right here, and now we're starting to break out. And from the previous expansion, we're moving into those all-time highs, but definitely more of a bull bias. All right, in the shorter term, what's the chart showing us? Well, again, we were in this sideways range. Sideways range, bottom third rejection. Okay, and now we're starting to break out, and we're moving towards the old-time highs. All right. So definitely main trend is up, short term is up, and then we can use anywhere from 5-minute to hourly or whatever chart you like, and we can really use this chart to hone in. And again, I use the previous day's range, the weekly, monthly, yearly, along with the opens and previous day's lows. So here is your new weekly high low. This is what happened this week. Right here, we broke out. So where were the really nice trades this week? So you had a trade right here when we broke out. Tuesday was crap. Wednesday was crap. I would have liked this trade on the Dow if it was a little bit higher up, but the NASDAQ and S&P gave you much nicer trades. Now, Friday, excuse me, right here. So the best trades right here were definitely Monday and Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, I mean, Thursday, definitely, you probably could have gotten something if we went down to the 5-minute. Remember, this is an hourly chart. So here, let's go look at it so we can see it. So definitely there was definitely a nice trade using the 5-minute right here. But again, I never lose sight. I always have a 60-minute chart up, because what I'm looking for is I'm looking for each week, I'm looking for where are those really those bottom third, top third, using the weekly, the previous day's range with the weekly, using that weekly high low, and then where are those monthly yearlies? And again, I really like those bottom third, top third rejections using the weekly. And then if I want to get a little bit more granular, more from my scalp trading, then I can really get down there and get into a 5-minute chart and get into it. All right. So moving into Sunday, Monday, again, we're in a range until proven otherwise. And then again, as I said, I'm always putting red lines or my decision points on these monthly and yearlies. I use the blue ones for the weekly. All right, so here we have the weekly. Again, strong momentum. Do we get a rejection to short? Do we get strong momentum at the bottom third to reject to go long? I don't want to trade the middle. And then I look for the same trades, always fake out breakouts at the top. Wait for the break and retest, fake out breakout. Looks like the sellers have it, not so fast. And then I play this range again until price can show me. And then I'm looking for a target up. And if we break below, But again, right now, just remember the indices, I'm looking more for the long trades, and you know my rules on counter trend trading, okay? All right, so that's the YM. Let's go do the Russell. And again, guys, I'm going to cover about 10 symbols here, but I'm going through it nice and slow so you guys are getting it. So again, what is the Russell main trend? Well, we can see the Russell has been in a range for it was for years, and then went into another range right here. And now it's starting to break out. And here was the expansion, all year highs right here. So we're going back to the yearly highs. All right, what's going on in the shorter term? Same thing. You can see we've got this breakout. Equal highs, equal lows. And now we're breaking out, and then we're coming back up to retest these all-time highs. So we know that we're bullish, and I don't care if I'm on a 1 minute or weekly or daily. I'm looking for that momentum into pullback and pause, and then I'm looking for that break and retest. All right, so let's go use the 5 minute. Here we go. So here was your weekly high low. We broke out. Now here's your new weekly high low for the week. And again, where are those monthly and yearlies? I put red lines for those for decision points. Always want to know where those are, because those are potential targets if we break out of the previous day's range and weekly. All right, so looking at this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday provided some opportunity, and so did Friday. So definitely Russell had more trades, and then you could see Friday we really broke out. So now coming into Sunday and Monday, here's your new weekly high low. What am I looking for? Strong momentum. Do we reject to short? Strong momentum at the bottom third, reject to go long. I'm looking for those fake out breakouts. Fake out breakouts until price can break above, and then we've got a nice target up there. And same thing below. But just remember, all the 4 indices right now are more bullish, so the long trades for me, until proven otherwise, are going to be the favorites. All right, let's go look at Bitcoin. I don't care what symbol it is. Always look left, squeeze that chart up. We can see that price did break out, but now is back into consolidation. All right, and we rejected. Remember, we talk about ranges: bottom, middle, top. I have no interest in the middle. I'm looking for top third, bottom third rejections, or fake out breakouts, and this was a fake out breakout. Now the buyers are trying to push back to the top of the range. But remember, when the main trend is in a range, I don't mind looking at both sides. Okay, when the market's bullish main trend, I'm looking for more longs. When the market's bearish main trend, I'm looking for more shorts. When we're in a range, I don't mind taking both sides until proven it can break out. All right, so main trend is in a range, and inside the range, let me just make sure I get this right. So let me just go to the weekly first. So with the let me just put that in blue. There we go. Go back to the daily. There we go. And we can see that we had a nice break and retest off the bottom here. If you were someone trading a range, that would have been your trade right there. And the next targets are middle and top. All right, now, while you're waiting, if you didn't get that set up, now we can use the shorter term. Here is your new week high low. There's your yearly, there's your monthlies. All right, so what happened here this week with the new low that was put in? Right here. So definitely nice setup here. Monday, Wednesday, definitely decent setups. And then Friday, Thursday was chop. Friday was this. Now we're live right now. We're sitting at the top third. So what am I looking for? Remember, the main trend is in a range, so I don't mind taking both sides. So here we go. We got strong momentum. If we get a strong rejection, I'm looking short. If I get strong momentum at the bottom third, multiple rejection, I'm looking long. If we get the fake out breakout, I'm looking short. Now, remember, whenever you have levels that are so close, I turn them into zones. All right. Same thing here, fake out breakout. And again, I'm going to play that bigger range until price can do this, get above this, make higher highs, higher lows, and I'm looking for the continuation. Same thing here. If we break down, lower high, lower low, then I'm looking down and I've got bigger targets. And again, those are the trades that I look for. And then again, I can look at the 5-minute to hone in my, each day I can hone in a little bit more precisely. All right. But I really want those big momentum rejections at the top third, bottom third of the weeklies. I use the previous day's range to help get more precise. And until we can break out above or below, and then if we break out above or below, we're looking at those monthly, weekly, monthly and yearly targets. All right, let's go look at oil. Again, guys, it's rinse and repeat. I don't care what symbol I look at. And again, you can see oil has just been a lot of back and forth. A lot of back and forth. Kind of in this range right here. All right. So we're in the range. We're kind of in the middle on the, so again, main trend is a range. And again, same thing here. And again, I don't want to trade this real chop, again, I want things that move. So we're basically in a range. Now we can use the shorter term to find more precise trades. So this week, the high and low has been established. We had broken below. So really nice trades here. Again, we have a main trend, it's a range. So I will, no problem going short or long. And then this was a nice trade on Monday. And then the other really nice trade started on Thursday into Friday. Those were the nice trades right there. Now, coming into Sunday, Monday, we got the new range high low weekly. So again, top third rejection, strong momentum, obvious bottom third rejection to go long. Fake out breakouts to short. And again, guys, if I don't get the setups I'm looking for, I'm not interested. And again, I play that range until price can break up. And again, I use these to scalp, day trade, and I use them for my swing trades that I can trade week to week. Okay, so now if we break above and below, we know where our monthly and yearly targets are. All right. So coming in, I just showed you what the trades were and what the trades are for Sunday and Monday. All right, let's go look at gold. And again, guys, I did the indices, I did Bitcoin, I did oil, I'm doing gold. Okay, so here we go. All right, so what has gold been doing? Well, gold has been basically momentum into, pullback or pause consolidation. We're back in consolidation. Now we're breaking out. And now let's see, are we going to continue on or are we going to come back in? I don't know yet. So let's go here, 5-minute here, and we can see the price is kind of retesting the breakout. So we're either going to come back in or we're going to move back to new highs, we need to see a little bit more information. So while we're looking for those charts, we can use our 5-minute to hourly charts to find, again, setups, whether we're scalping, day, or swing. And again, this is going to be our new weekly low, weekly high. And here, listen, we had right here, we broke out, and then we had the yearly. Okay, we had the yearly and the monthly. No wonder we rejected. So really the beautiful setups this week, if you were a gold trader, and again, these were the two that really stuck out. Again, I don't want to trade this middle, top third rejection, bottom third, and then we had the continuation. All right, so what are we looking for now into Sunday and Monday? Well, we're playing the range until it can break out. And if we do break out, we have our monthly, yearly levels. So again, strong momentum to the top third, rejection, looking for a short. Strong momentum at the bottom third, rejection to go long. Strong momentum, fake out, breakout to short. Strong momentum, fake out, breakout to go long until price can get above and give us this continuation trade. Guys, this is what I look for in any symbol I'm trading. So what I look for, I'll have one chart. I have 3 charts. I have one chart that has the symbols that I trade. I have the 30 to 60-minute chart. And what I'm looking for is which one of them has strong top third, bottom third rejection, and then looking at the ones again that are going with the main trend. And again, if it's in a range, I can look at both sides, and that's what I look for. I don't want to look at ones in the middle. I want to look at the ones that have strong momentum, potential rejection, or strong momentum, and then we break and retest and we go for the longer term. That's what I'm looking for in any symbol I look for. All right, so now let's go look at the key symbols let's go look at Apple first. So I'm going to look at 4 stocks. And again, if there's a stock that you want me to look at, now in the stocks, what I'll probably do is let me just go to the 15-minute chart. Let's go look at the main trend here, but hold on a second. All right. And the reason I'm using a smaller chart because I'm not using the overnight price action with the stocks. All right, so Apple, what is Apple doing? Apple had strong consolidation, strong momentum. This is what it does. And it has consolidation. And that's when I say pull back or pause. These are consolidations. Some are small, some are medium, some are big. This is a big consolidation. Look at that. We broke, and look at that retest. That was your entry right there on the weekly or daily chart right there. Same thing right here. You'll see it here. This is why I'm always looking at the price action. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Or is it in a range? And again, we consolidated. We had strong break, and then we had a strong retest right there. And now we're moving back to all-time highs. And Apple has a potential setup. We're into this pause. So as soon as we can break out, there we go. So while we're waiting for that, can we find a shorter term trade using the chart? So here we go. This is going to be your new right there. And again, I always want to know where those levels are, the monthly again, but this has a monthly and weekly, and the monthly's down here. All right, so this week, what transpired? We put in the new low. And so Monday was a good day. And then again, we had a really nice counter trend trade right here. Again, you know my rules on counter trend trading. Thursday and Friday gave you 2 really nice counter trend tradings, but you had no business trading unless you passed. So really going with the trend, Monday was really the best setup for Apple. All right, so coming in, this is going to be your new week high low, no different here. Bottom third, top third, I want to stay in the middle. So I'm hoping price comes up to reject. Strong momentum at the bottom third to go long. Strong momentum, fake out breakouts to go short. Fake out breakouts to go long. And again, I'm going to play the range until price gives me that continuation trade above or below. We clear? Cool. All right, let's go to NVIDIA. I'm doing basically the 4 top stocks. All right, let's go rinse and repeat. What is NVIDIA doing? Well, NVIDIA has consolidated. It has momentum into pullback or pause consolidation. Okay, here was your breakout here, this area. And we basically retested it. There was your setup. Now we're retesting all-time highs. There's your main trend. It's bullish. Let's go here. And came back to this breakout. Beautiful long, and now we're retesting the highs. And now we've got momentum into pullback and pause. So potential setup. And while we're waiting for that, let's go see the shorter term, what is possible. So there was where your week started. Here was your low that was put in for the week. Here is your high, matches up with a monthly. And again, if we break above, there's a yearly. And below there's a monthly. All right. So again, I'm looking at this chart and I'm asking this week, we broke out. So Monday, that was a beautiful trade. Tuesday, Wednesday, now Thursday, again, was counter trend. You know my rules. And then we had a gap up, held the level. So Monday and Friday were really the days that went with the trend. Those were the best trades. Again, you know my rules on counter trend. That was a beautiful counter trend trade. But again, if you don't qualify the rules, then you shouldn't be trading it. That's why we call it earn the right to trade live. All right, let's go do 2 more. So let's do Amazon. Where is Amazon? There we go. And again, guys, it's rinse and repeat. It's the same thing. Again, we look at the data. All right, so look at what we have here. We had basically consolidation. Price came up, rejected, now came back below and rejected this previous level right here. And now price is pushing back up. So definitely you were trading that chart. That could have been a setup. And let me just go to the weekly so I can make sure I get this daily right. So here was a level right here where price paused, took off, and then you had this consolidation. So a lot of times with ranges, you'll have expansion above and below, and then price will push back. Now, if this was going to continue, it would have done this, and it didn't. All right, it rejected, and now it's trying to get back into that level. So Amazon is definitely, it's bullish to neutral. It's not as bullish as some of the other symbols. Now let's go look at here during the week. The new weekly high has been established. All right, so Monday we came in right here and then we hit the high and we consolidated, then we broke out. Now again, you know my rules with counter trend. But definitely Wednesday and Thursday provided you. And then here, you had a trade potential here, but you really didn't get much follow through. You had a rejection at the previous day's range low and weekly and didn't really give you a lot of follow through. So this is the new weekly low. So again, it's going to be the same. These are the trades I'm looking for until it can prove it can break out above or below. Hold on. And then again, we look at where those monthly and yearly levels are. If we do break out as potential targets. So again, if you're trading Amazon, my favorite trades are going to be strong momentum, bottom third rejection, strong momentum, top third rejection, looking for those fake out breakouts, looking for the fake out breakouts until price can break above these weekly, monthly for a continuation trade. All right, let's go do one more. Let's go do Microsoft. And again, guys, if any of the symbols that I did are not covered that you like to trade, just hit me up at hello@trade90x.com. All right, so the main trend has been moving lower left, upper right. We had basically a rejection bottom here. I'm going to put that in. We got to get above that. If we can get above that, then we're definitely going to all-time highs here. So right now, Microsoft is kind of ranging right now, a little neutral to range. Same thing. Let me just put that in. We came in, rejected this area, and then we're trying to move back to these all-time highs. And again, we use the smaller chart to help us get more precise, and we use our tools. So now here's going to be your new, we got a weekly and monthly on top of each other. And targets above and below if we break out. All right, so we kind of consolidated. So, again, we're kind of in a range, so I don't mind taking both sides. So, Monday definitely gave you a long, and Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday definitely shorts. And then here you had a long, didn't really get you the follow through like Amazon, but definitely some nice setups using, again, just looking at what is the main trend? The main trend is neutral to range. Okay. So when it's in a neutral to range, I don't mind taking both sides. And again, you had that here. Now, coming into Monday, we're going to be looking at, here's our range. I'm going to be looking at top third rejections. And again, when I look for these top third, bottom rejections, I'm looking for strong, obvious rejections. I'm not looking for chop. I want the fake out breakouts. Fake out breakouts until price can break above with continuation. And those are the things I look at. So again, and I'll do another video on that. I called it kind of the horse race, where I have all my symbols up, that I trade, and I have them basically on a 30 or 60-minute chart. And then basically what I'm looking for, and I'll have my, 5-minute chart next to me, but what I'm looking for is which one of these symbols, again, first of all, what is the main trend? Is it bullish, bearish, or range? And then do we have strong momentum up or down and rejection potential at weekly high lows? Is there a monthly or yearly nearby? And then where can I fade, or if price has the potential to break out? And then which one of the trades has the most obvious looking price action? That's what I'm looking for. And then I look for the trades. If none of them do, then I sit in my hands and do nothing. Are we clear? All right, so let's review. So again, every week it's the same thing. Number one, we look at the data. Okay, I use my routines: pre-market, live market, post-market, live market to execute, pre-market to build, post-market's journal and review. Weekend is to break down what we saw during the week, and then look what's going on. And then monthly, I do an overview of the whole thing. Then I look at the data. We look at the news and earnings, so we know what's coming out. We look at the data under the hood. Again, who has the controls? Is it bulls, bears, or range? The more obvious the bullish, bearish, or range, the more high probability. And then looking at the charts, we break it down the same. I don't care if it's a penny stock, crypto, it doesn't matter to me. Again, what is the main trend? Again, with the S&P, again, lower left to upper right, higher highs, higher lows is bullish. Upper left to lower right is bearish. Ranges are equal highs, equal lows. Well, the S&P main trend is bullish, is the weekly and monthly. Our 5-minute to daily is showing bullish. We're getting close to old-time highs. And then I can use the 5-minute to 60-minute to look at those weekly. I look at those weekly high lows, and I use the previous day's range each day to help me with my setups. And then, of course, if there's a monthly or yearly on top of those weeklies, and that makes those levels more important. And then what I'm looking for is ranges, rule of thirds. Bottom, middle, top. I have no interest in trading the middle or chop. I'm looking for those strong momentum at the top third, bottom third of those weekly high lows. I'm looking for fake out breakouts. And again, I use the previous day's ranges to help me with those setups. And then if we break above or below, I'm looking for those continuation trades. But again, my favorite trades are going to be if the main trend is bullish, I'm looking for those pullbacks at the bottom third or breakouts above to go long. If the main trend is bearish, I'm looking for top third rejections, or if we break through the bottom and we get those lower highs, lower lows. If the main trend is in a range, then I don't have a problem taking both top third, bottom third, no middle until price can break out. And then I don't care. I'm looking for the most obvious setups. Now, if you're not clear about the data, the risk and money management, how we break down the monthly, weekly, the daily, and then how I use our tools that are off the shelf to quickly determine whether or not we're bullish, bearish, or range, and then what our setups are, then hit me up at hello@trade90x.com. But that is the game plan. I showed you each symbol that we trade. What is it doing right now? And then what I'm looking for using the smaller charts that can help me set up a day trade, a scalp trade, or a swing trade for days to weeks. And again, I have very specific situational things that I'm looking for to get me the high probability, and you should too. And again, guys, I do this every day. I do it every week. If there's any questions, just hit me up at hello@trade90x.com. More than happy. So go enjoy the rest of your weekend, and then I'll be back Monday or Tuesday, actually back to the regular time. All right, let's enjoy the weekend, and let's look forward to another profitable week.